Well, good day and welcome. We are here. I'm Rudy Maxa. I'm a travel journalist and broadcaster. And to my other side is Tommy Danielson, who knows everything about airline points and hotel points and flights and so on. We're going to do an unusual conversation. Normally, we tick off four or five things happening in the travel world, but the really big news this week, a couple of days ago, as we come to you live on March 13th of 2025, keep that in mind, March 13th, 2025, Southwest Airlines changed it. As one airline executive put it, Southwest has shot the sacred cow. It decided it's going to start charging for bags. So we're going to talk today entirely about this because there are other ramifications for Southwest as well. Well, so Tommy, they haven't told us how much they're going to charge yet, but you were pointing out before we went on the air here that just last September, the CEO and other executives were saying, we're never touching it. We're always going to have bags fly free, which has been their motto for more than 50 years.
Yeah, it's quite comical. It's like in their defense, they're taking a little bit longer than the Trump administration to make an ass of themselves. It's not like instant that this happened. But on Investor Day, back in September of last year, so just a few months ago, the newer Southwest CEO, Bob Jordan, he's been around for a little bit now, but he presented and he said to quote, this is a quote, "Our bags fly free policy not only provides customers value and generates enduring loyalty, the policy also generates significant shareholder value, and there is significant customer and financial risk to eliminating or changing that policy."
I can add that the executive in charge of the airline's so-called transformation strategy said that same meeting in September, and I quote, "Changing our bag policy would be value destructive."
Right. And here's what he said also in late last year when they announced the changes that they're changing their policy on seating on board. We'll get to that in a minute. We're all the new Southwest. We're going to make sure that everybody knows 100% of what we know. As of this morning, there was also some breaking news about how redemption will happen in the future. But this is the letter that Bob Jordan sent to me and to you and Rudy. I know you're an avid Southwest. Oh, no, you're not. You live in Minnesota, so they don't have many flights there.
I have a few shares of stock, but they don't serve a lot here. Yeah.
Right. So it's a long email. It's not a long, but dear whatever. And while there are a lot of changes ahead, our 53-year-old core values of flexibility, transparency, and hospitality are stronger than ever. In that spirit, I'm happy to announce what's changing and what's not. Bags Fly Free, and that's first top of the list. Bags Fly Free, which is their registered trademark, is here to stay. You love Bags Fly Free, and we're keeping our industry-leading policy. Every ticket with us comes with 2 free check bags.
Sure.
That's what was said in that email. And let's talk about what was so Southwest has not. They were a solid airline that always had a decent profit, and it has been the most profitable, most stable investment in the airline industry in the world since its inception 53 years ago or 54 years ago, and because people know what to expect. And that's something that's extremely valuable. And more so, this is not a hotel chain. It's not like Marriott where you have rogue hotels that are kind of going against policy or things like that. We're talking about corporate policy here. So people know in their minds, it's free seating. You sit wherever you want. There are ways to cut in line by either buying to check in online automatically, or you can buy an upgrade which goes from $30 to $70 to be one of the 15 first people to board. You can do that, or there's also pre-boards, which is extremely easy to get on Southwest. If you pretend to be limping, you'll get a stamp where you can be boarded ahead of everybody else, which is one. So everybody knows that, and they know that they get 2 free check bags as well. So it's very simple. It's easy to understand. There is no way, and that's why people love Southwest. And the logo with the heart. I guess they should get rid of that now because there's a little bit of outrage out there on the internet, and I think in addition, if the back flight free policy was the only thing they were changing, it would be maybe they could get away with it to an extent. I highly doubt it though. But with there's so many changes, them devaluing their tickets, them changing the way that tickets work. That miles on the vast majority of people buy the want to get away fares, eliminating want to get away fares and now doing basic economy is what they're calling the product.
And you're getting fewer than 6 points per mile.
Yeah, I'm going to share the screen on that. I think that it's too much. But let's dive into the facts here. So what started last year was that they changed the seating policy. So they're going to, and I don't think that necessarily changing the seating policy is a bad idea, because for anybody who flies Southwest on a regular basis, it is by far the slowest airline to board and the slowest airline for people to get off. You might think it's faster because the checking bags are free, but people don't. Bags are as full, overhead bags, or the overhead bins are as full on Southwest as any other airline, because people don't want to wait around for those bags to show up. So when people have seat assignments, that means that you can service customers better, you can board faster, and you can make sure that the pre-boards, people who are paying money for extra stuff, they actually get what they're paying for. If I paid $70 to be early to board, and there's 20 people in rascals and people with saying, "Oh, I have my pinky, I bruised my pinky yesterday slicing some bread, and I need a stamp on the thing to board early." You could be the 35th guy to board a plane. You're not first then anymore. And that's so they can now manage those things directly, and it'll save them time. I would estimate that they will shave off probably 10 to 15 minutes per flight.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, also we know that Southwest is pretty, they're not really on time. They've been on time lately this year because they just don't have as many passengers as they used to have, right? So they didn't handle the pandemic well, and they are and of course the financial woes that they have is now blamed on the customer, or that they are not utilizing, maximizing the revenue that they can get from those passengers, which might be true, but their crazy deals that they've made with their unions, that pilots make more than $500,000 a year, and flight attendants are now, the top salaries are $130,000.
Yeah.
That also has something to do with the fact that that leading into the pandemic, the Trump administration, they gave no strings attached, $85 billion to airlines. And what they should have done was to keep these guys on payroll. What they opted to do was to thin out the herds and furlough a ton of pilots, early retire a ton of pilots. And if you are 55 years old and you get to go retire at 55 for the same salary until your retirement kicks in, would you go back to work? I don't think so, especially not with these salaries. So they had a problem. They didn't have enough pilots, so they had to. There was a huge pilot shortage because of so many people retiring, and not just with Southwest, but the entire industry. Right. And that teed up the problem. And then the flight attendants were, well, look at the pilots, $550,000, $600,000 a year. Wow, that's a crazy salary. We want money too, and that's how it's known. And then threats of strikes and all sorts of bugs. So the happy Southwest family doesn't exist anymore, right?
Let's keep in mind their stock symbol is the same as the airline code for their home airport in Dallas, which is LUV, L-U-V. And in fact, Southwest flight attendants have been known to have great personalities, and it's very family-like. But then just the other day, they laid off 1,750 corporate employees, which is Southwest has never done that. Never done that. Right. So I think the love is, I don't know that everybody's feeling the love even at Southwest.
I personally, I think this is for me personally. We live in Sacramento, and
You fly 'em all
Southwest
the
has
time.
more than half of the market share here. Although we're seeing that they're starting to cut back significantly on flights all over the place. Normally, they would have 10, 15 flights to LA, and maybe 6, 7, 8 on the weekend. And I saw this coming Saturday. We had an employee that needed to go to LA to go to Europe, and there were 3 flights for the whole day from Sacramento now. So things are changing. But let's dive into what this means for you. So if we were first to say what will happen on board when you buy a ticket now. So now they have, that has also changed, because Wanna Get Away was you could buy a seat on board. You could either buy a seat up front, so up front in the first 10 rows, I think it is, or is it less than that? They haven't shared exactly how the cabin will be, but the first few rows, there will be the same seat, the same economy class seat, but there will be a little bit extra legroom compared to what it is today.
Right.
In the back, they will reduce the legroom. So Southwest is known for having the best legroom in the business on U.S. domestic. That's no more. So now
they were reducing the legroom in regular coach.
Correct. So the majority of the plane will have less room, while you can pay to sit up front. And I have no issues with either one of these two things, to be honest with you. And also that sitting there, you know the comedian Bill Burr, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's me. I'm him. I'm like, and things that really enrage me. There are some things that enrage me. One of the things, installing operating systems and updating operating systems and guys in the left lane on the highway that's going the speed limit or slightly under the speed limit, and Southwest boarding, watching people come aboard, and I put my bag up and I sit down, right? I don't take all the shit out of my bag or anything like that. I wait so people can get by and to do their thing. So here you have a typical guy, and this is why Southwest doesn't. Gary Leff, a close friend of mine, he wrote he thinks that the boarding system that Southwest has now is faster. It most definitely is not. So you have the first guy steps on board at row 2. First seat he stops. Then he's got 150 guys behind him if the plane is full, right? He puts up his bag, he takes his coat off, he takes his hat off, and then he starts taking stuff out of his laptop case. He needs his iPad, and he needs his Kindle, and all that kind of shit.
While he's standing in the aisle.
While you're standing in the aisle. And, there are more leisure travelers on Southwest for sure than most other airlines. So watching that's my third Bill Burr thing, right? That I'm watching that, and I want to stand up and tell the guy, like, why don't you step out of the freaking aisle and then let other people pass, and then you do all this shit after? So, anyways.
Anyway.
So that it'll be faster. I don't see any.
So number one is seat changes. Number one, seat changes.
That happened last year, yes. And a couple of months ago, though, they decided. A couple of weeks ago, like recently. As of May 28th of this year, they then changed how much you earn when you fly with them, how many miles you earn when you fly with them. It used to be that you earn 6 points per dollar. 6 points per dollar spent it was what you have for those Wanna Get Away fares that now are called basic. That change was yesterday.
What do you get as of May?
So now they changed it yesterday. They reduced it by 2/3, so you get 2 points per dollar spent. Wow. Not only that, if you have flight credit, meaning that if you cancel a flight with Southwest, right? Mm-hmm. And you want to go, grandma died, or I got the measles in Texas, or anything like that, and you can't travel, so you cancel your flight, you get a credit for later. Now, that credit used to be valid for a long time, right? Forever.
Right.
It just showed up in your bank online, and was a great value for Southwest with that. Before the pandemic, they were alone of having this policy. So if I had a $50 fare and I wanted to cancel 15 minutes before, I could. I would just cancel the ticket and I have the credit for later. Great, right? So now you have to use it within 6 months. on the basic fare,
Well, you lose
which may be not happening with a lot of people who buy the cheapest fares. They may not be doing that. Obviously, they're trying to force people to buy the more expensive fare so they don't have to do it. So you can't transfer the credit either to somebody else. That's another restriction. That was the case before as well. It's not refundable, of course. There's no changes for this thing. So if you show up at Burbank and there's an earlier flight, before you were able to just say pay the difference in fare and you would change the flight. There are no changes to these tickets.
even if you pay an extra fee.
No changes.
That's great.
There are no fare differences. I wonder how that would work though, because you could just cancel your ticket and just buy a new one, right? So that doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm looking at the official Southwest gig going here. So well, let me show you that. This is Gary's blog. He has a screenshot of it right here, so we can all look at it together. So it says no changes. It kind of is weird because you can just cancel it and you'll have the credit and you can rebook, of course. But you can't go to the gate and change it. You would have to do it online. I guess that's what it means.
Yep.
You can't cancel like you can now. And same day change and standby, you can't do that either. Weird. Anyway, so they just want to make it more complicated than that. So then you have the Want to Get Away Plus, which isn't really that much more expensive depending on the length of the flight. But it is 6X, so it's the same as the and it used to, right now it gives you let me just go and see how much you get now. So you get yeah, so you when it comes to the Want to Get Away Plus, what you get extra for those for those tickets is that you can stand by the same day. That usually when I have a meeting and there's a lot of flights between the destinations, I always buy that, and the difference is like $15, $20 usually, something like that. So it's not a big difference. But it is for a family of four going to Disneyland. It can be, it all adds up because, no bags are going to be included in this, right?
Yeah, they're going to, boy, when these bag charges come in, a family of four traveling with that, even if each person only has one bag,
right?
It's going to really change everything. I don't know if they're going to, the industry, but, I think it's also worth pointing out that most other airlines, the major airlines, started charging for bags back in 2008. I didn't know it was that long ago.
Right.
But Southwest sort of had this bragging, bags fly free since 2008. That's 27 years that they're going back.
And I will maintain that that's the reason why Southwest, up until the pandemic, was the largest domestic carrier. They flew more passengers than anybody in the United States.
Yeah, family of four that's got to pay for bags. God help them if they each carry two bags. I mean, that's crazy.
So right now, the Want to Get Away, you can do free standby any day right now, right? Mm-hmm. So, all right. So moving into the other difference that we have here is obviously, so we've got so any times it's a big price difference between that. So it's like what, but these are the changes. So you have a not a flexible thing going. I wouldn't say that it's that much of a difference because you can of course cancel it and buy a new one, buy a new ticket. So if you are changing flights, it's not like you are precluded from doing that. It's just that the earning has dropped, right? So there's that. That's
there are a couple other changes I think we should mention. A few months ago, they started posting their fares. If you hit Google Flights, you go check out Google Flights. Southwest never used to appear. Right. That does now, which is helpful. And also, Expedia is about to place them, if they haven't already, on their website. So they're expanding the places people will see their fares in comparison to others. So if they can keep their fares lower, but that ticket charge, that was a big differential.
Right, for sure. And then there also was a breaking thing this morning, which Gary covered. I saw this first thing when I the biggest thing was hidden in the muster here, right? So it was the value of points is going to change. Not only do you earn less points, but and for some of these guys, let's see here. For the higher fares, you earn more points, right? So that goes up a little bit. So if you pay more, you earn a little bit more.
14 points for
Yeah, so that's for the business select fares only, of course.
Yeah,
so that's obviously very expensive and not worth the money.
Right.
And also worth mentioning here before we dive into that. Let's talk about after we're done with the miles and points. We'll talk about how you can get out of the fees, right? The bag fees. The value of points is going to change. Currently, they offer a fixed value per point. That's the whole idea of having a revenue-based program, right? Mm-hmm. So they're so greedy that they are not following their own their own principle, that they're just using it as a currency. That's going away. When the price of a ticket goes up, the point price goes up proportionally, and vice versa. That's the way it works now. So you can just look at if I see a fare in front of me with Southwest, I know exactly how many points that's going to be, right? That's what it's tied to.
Until May 28th, yeah.
Until May 28th. Going forward, points will become less valuable when redeeming against the most expensive tickets at the busiest times, when you need the points the most. Although they might become more valuable when redeeming for flights that aren't selling.
Is this called dynamic pricing?
This is dynamic pricing for sure, yeah, yes. Right. And which I think is really strange for a revenue-based program. Yeah. But I digress. So, so here this rounds it up. Southwest cuts points earning by 2/3 from 6 points per dollar to 2 on their least expensive tickets that most people buy. This prepares for the change. They don't call it want to get away fares anymore. They call it basic, right? Other airlines offer fewer points earned on these fares, and Delta in Delta's case, they don't get any points. So that's obviously it's not out of line with the industry. But bear in mind that this is one of many things that they're changing now, right? Many things. So it's a lot happening at once here. That's changes that are coming this year. So the changes to the ticketing type, the earning, and all that stuff is happening very, very quickly. While these changes, pardon?
Well, you suggested to me when we were talking about this that the beneficiary of all this is going to be who?
Well, the beneficiary for this is going to be Spirit, I think. Or all of the other airlines too, because
the other airlines, they're all charging $35
so right
a bag.
Right now, Spirit has a better offering than Southwest does. And when I say a better offering, we're talking a lot better offering. They have some things. I'm going to share a couple of things about Spirit that because I told you before we went live here. But actually, this is a recording. It's not live, but it'll go live later today after it's been edited. But Spirit offers things that you had no clue was happening. So they offer things. So, for example, you can buy the middle seat next to you, so you don't have anybody next to you. They also have something called a big front seat, which is a first class seat.
It's big.
Yeah. So, and then you have just like Southwest, they have 4 different bundles that you can get. So let's take a look at what Spirit is offering today. They just announced that their restructuring is done. They announced that yesterday, and that they're going to come out of bankruptcy very soon. So I checked out. The reason why, I did from Burbank to Las Vegas. I purchased a ticket for John, you've seen on the show before on various other things that we do. John is our intern, lives in Las Vegas. He was in LA with us for our big event that we had about a month ago, and we went home. And I was looking at it. What does this mean? Go comfy. All right. So you have the Go, which is the basic thing, right? You
Right.
don't get a carry-on, which you still do with Southwest for now. You get a check. You pay for the check bag and pretty much everything, right? And you have to pay to cancel. So this is in line with the thing that Southwest offers, right? But here's the kicker: look at the price, $24, right?
Yeah.
So
And
that's a little
also,
bit different than the offering here.
and,
So
and it's also, I guess maybe you're about to say this. When you buy, if you can buy that empty extra middle seat, you're not paying a whole new fare. You
no,
paid for John. You said between Vegas and LA it was $7 or something.
yeah, look at this. Look at here. It is a little bit more for this particular flight. So here, the first is the Go, which is the basic fare, if you will,
Right.
which is in line with what Southwest does, right?
Right.
And you see here, for example, so they have the Go Savvy, which we're going to have a chat with them about the Savvy thing here. So you get the standard
Big
seat
carry-on
selection.
bag.
You get a carry-on bag. You get a personal item. You can cancel or change the flight and with a fare difference and stuff like that. Then you have the Go Comfy, which is obviously, and you can see the price difference here is negligible, right? It's not very much money at all.
Right.
And here, from $64 to $84, you pay. You get a middle seat block. You get a carry-on bag. You get a comfy seat. You get snacks and drinks, and you get a small and a drink included. So you can have a little hooch there included in your fare too. Obviously, John is not eligible to drink yet, but there, and you get priority boarding also.
Well, that
So
empty
here,
middle seat is major.
the middle seat is the winner,
Right.
right?
Right.
It is the winner for
What do
sure.
you get for a Go Big here? Oh, you get a
Right.
big
So
front seat.
here's Southwest on the same day, right? Theirs start at $49 for their basic fare, so about the same as if you pay for a check bag on Spirit. And here you go for their plus fare, which includes, here we go. So it's flexibility, right? Which also Spirit gives you. And then, but there's no difference in the product here until you get to Business Select. When you pay $139, you still can get a middle seat, but you get a free drink
On who?
on Southwest. So
You get a
Spirit
middle
here
seat?
wins.
If you go there business, you get a middle seat empty next to you?
On Southwest, if you have a Business Select fare, let me change the picture here. I can show you. I'm
but you
sorry, I
don't
did
get
the
a
wrong thing.
middle
Here you go.
seat.
Here's Southwest on the same day as Spirit between Burbank and Las Vegas.
139 to 179, depending on when you fly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Business Select. The difference. So you board as 1 through 15. So if you show up at the gate at the right time, then you will not get a middle seat, right? But you will have somebody most likely in the middle seat, right?
Yeah, right. You don't get, yeah.
So you get to board through 1 through 15. You get priority security just like Spirit 2 and all that other stuff. But you get on the top fare here, though, you get 1 free drink. That's what you get.
Got it.
That's the onboard service on any length flight. You get one coupon for 1 free drink. If you're going from here to DC for 5 hours, or you go to Hawaii for 4.5 hours from here, you get 1 free drink. So I would say that that Spirit has a much better offering, and the kicker here is obviously, so as you can see, with $114 for a first class seat, 2 plus 2 in the front, and the first class seat, it includes also a check bag.
Oh.
So premium snacks and drinks included, meaning you can get more than 1 drink. You get a first class seat, you get a carry-on bag, you get a check bag, you get flight change or cancel, you get snacks and drinks, you get priority boarding, you get free Wi-Fi, right?
Right.
No,
That's incredible to check back because that's $35. Although I have a hunch Southwest is going to charge $25 for a bag and say, look, we're the bargain, still the bargain airline,
Well, I would say to people, what should you do now? Spirit is on time. They're a very reliable airline. They are now changed their business model completely, and they offer a ton more than Southwest. And if you are, of course, a family, you don't need to. You can just pay the $24 plus the bag fee. Southwest will still beat the crap out of Southwest with the pricing that they have. Because bear in mind, the people who get out of jail free, meaning that they don't have to pay for bags on Southwest, is you don't have to pay for Business Select. You don't have to pay for it if you have status with if you have Southwest Rapid Reward
credit card. I think they're saying if you have a Southwest credit card, you get one bag free.
As all the other airlines in America, you get a free check bag. If you have the cheapest United card for $89 also per year, or the cheapest Delta card, all of those cheapo cards gives you one free check bag. So that's obviously. So you can have status, and if you have the mid-tier, what is it called? What is it called? Rapid Rewards. No, what is it called again? The tier level.
I don't fly them enough. I know nothing.
Melinda has it. Melinda has Southwest status. It is called tier benefits. Here we go. So it's called A-list preferred, an A-list.
Oh yeah.
So she has A-list, and she would get one check bag. And obviously we have a credit card. Both of us have Southwest credit cards. Right. And A-list preferred.
That's the solution, a credit card. Then if you fly Southwest 3 or 4 times a year,
that's the solution for every airline in America.
Right. That's
including Spirit.
Yeah. Okay.
So they also have a credit card, and I think that the sign-up bonus I saw it pop up here that it's the sign-up bonus for Spirit for the credit card is like 50,000. Oh, here we go, 10 to 50,000 bonus points with the free Spirit MasterCard.
It's a free.
It's time
card?
to be a free Spirit. Oh, I don't want to do that. So obviously not going to do that right here, but I'm sure that. They have a Savers Club. They've got.
If you fly Spirit a lot because it serves your hometown airline.
See here, no change or cancel fees. Book with confidence and no change and cancel fees when you book all the fares except for the cheapest one, right?
Right.
So they are matching Southwest like nobody's business.
Right.
And also, I mean, I think that there aren't that many of those first class seats. They can be pricey for the longer flights. It's never as pricey as any of the other carriers, of course, but. I mean, you have to realize that this Southwest business model has been based on, in conclusion, because we're just about running out of time here, the Southwest business model has been, it's a domestic airlines, they fly limited, you earn your points with them and their credit cards or whatever, and you spend your points with them. They have an international relationship now with Iceland Air, which obviously is the least desirable way to go to Europe. They have jam-packed 737 Maxes with terrible legroom, and you got to stop in Reykjavik before you go anywhere, with very low flight frequencies to the rest of Europe. So I would say that their miles are less desirable, and now they are a low-cost carrier without the low prices, is what they are, and they're behaving as such as well. There is no point for me to if families pick them because of the free bags, the no frills, the very predictable known product. It's been engraved into people's minds for more than half a century, right? They know exactly what to expect.
The new regime starts May 28th, and I do appreciate your. I mean, I hadn't thought about it, that Spirit benefits so much, but you're absolutely right, and I appreciate you bringing that up, and I hope that's helpful for our viewers.
I hope that they get Spirit needs to be bigger, and they need to be, and I hope that they when they come back from Chapter 11, this should be invigorating for them, and when they're restructured, it couldn't come at a more perfect time. There is no point of the Southwest loyalty program has zero value right now. It's
just a reminder that we are talking on March 13th of 2025. So if you're seeing this a year or two later, obviously you'll know whether Southwest made a good idea, but also keep in mind what we're saying is subject to change in the airline business at any moment. So thank you, Tommy.
Thanks for dialing in. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
It's a date. Bye-bye.
Giddy up.